If you have evidence that Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden, but that Joe Biden broke the law, bring it forward, and if it's impeachable, impeach him. But you don't have that evidence. So you go on a fishing expedition, and all of a sudden you raise the flame of justice in Congress like you're so concerned with the congressional subpoena when you were the one that ignored it the whole time.
What is the specific constitutional crime that you're investigating?
Well, we're having an inquiry, so we can do an investigation and control the production of witnesses.
And what is the crime you're investigating?
And documents. High crimes, misdemeanors, and bribery.
What high crime and misdemeanor are you investigating?
Look, I will, once I get time, I will explain what we're looking at.
We have mountains of evidence, and now we're ready to bring them in. We're in the downhill phase of this investigation now because we have so many documents, and we can bring these people in for depositions or committee hearings, whichever they choose.
So when Hunter was subpoenaed by Congress, he and his lawyer wrote back to the committee saying that they would do so in a public hearing. He is making this choice because the committee has demonstrated time and again it uses closed-door sessions to manipulate, even distort the facts, and misinform the American public. A hearing would ensure transparency and truth in these proceedings. Because let's not forget, Jordan and Comer used their hearing with Devin Archer to lie about what was actually said. He went to the Capitol to give a statement.
James Comer, Jim Jordan, Jason Smith, and their colleagues have distorted the facts by cherry-picking lines from a bank statement, manipulating texts I sent, editing the testimony of my friends and former business partners, and misstating personal information that was stolen from me. There is no fairness or decency in what these Republicans are doing. They have lied over and over about every aspect of my personal and professional life. So much so that their lies have become the false facts believed by too many people. No matter how many times it is debunked, they continue to insist that my father's support of Ukraine against Russia is the result of a non-existent bribe. They displayed naked photos of me during an oversight hearing. And they have taken the light of my dad's love, the light of my dad's love for me, and presented it as darkness. They have no shame. These same committee chairmen have engaged in unprecedented political interference in what would have already been a 5-year investigation of me. Yet, here I am, Mr. Chairman, taking up your offer when you said we can bring these people in for depositions or committee hearings, whichever they choose. Well, I've chosen. I am here to testify at a public hearing today to answer any of the committee's legitimate questions. Republicans do not want an open process where Americans can see their tactics, expose their baseless inquiry, or hear what I have to say.
Next question.
Are you going forward with contempt?
I'll let you.
There's a process you have to follow. You have to file a report. So we will begin looking at that. Both the lawyers for the Oversight Committee, the lawyers for the Judiciary Committee will move in that direction. But look, when Congress asks you to come, you're supposed to come and testify.
Devin Archer testified.
Last thing, we also found checks from one of Hunter Biden's shell companies that were going into an account for Joe Biden monthly. They said that was a loan repayment. Oh yeah, everything's a loan repayment. Well, why did Hunter Biden will have an opportunity in deposition to come in and explain that?
Chairman, that was memorialized in emails that you guys leaked from Hunter Biden's laptop.
Thank you.
I would like to have asked Hunter Biden about Mann Act violations. Sex trafficking women across state lines.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
That would have been a good question. You don't seem to care about that, though.
Look, when Congress asks you to come, you're supposed to come and testify.
Well, that's rich coming from Jordan. This coward still has not complied with the subpoena from the January 6th committee, and it's been almost 600 days. And who better to call out Jim Jordan than his former House Republican colleague, Adam Kinzinger, one of the members of the January 6th committee.
We've heard Republicans speak out after Hunter Biden made his comments. They're not happy. They're not going to stop their investigation, as we know. One thing we heard from Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan is this. He said, When Congress asks you to come testify, you are supposed to come testify. As someone who served on the committee who issued a subpoena to Jim Jordan, which he defied, what are people supposed to take from this?
Well, they're supposed to take that Jim Jordan is an absolute hypocrite. Jim Jordan, in front of the Rules Committee, when we were talking about holding Steve Bannon or somebody in contempt, he said in front of the Rules Committee that the Department of Justice and the FBI should be the ones investigating Donald Trump, and that would be their role. Now, of course, he's against the Department of Justice and the FBI investigating Donald Trump. He's for the sanctity of the subpoena by U.S. Congress until he's the one that gets subpoenaed by U.S. Congress. And he also votes against enforcing subpoenas against people like Steve Bannon and against people like Mark Meadows. I mean, the hypocrisy is mind-numbing. I am less concerned with what people's view is on positions and what their idea is on policy, as much as I am with there is just open and blatant and unashamed hypocrisy where it's all about winning, it's all about power, and truth and justice really has no role in what they're doing. If you have evidence that Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden, but that Joe Biden broke the law, bring it forward, and if it's impeachable, impeach him. But you don't have that evidence. So you go on a fishing expedition, and all of a sudden you raise the flame of justice in Congress like you're so concerned with the congressional subpoena when you were the one that ignored it the whole time.
Jordan's hypocrisy is even more evident when you remember that Eric Swalwell has made it his mission this year to remind everyone that Jordan has evaded his subpoena like a fucking coward.
So we're going to haul witnesses in here today and claim that they did not comply with subpoenas or requests. And that request is so rich because it's coming from a chairman who himself did not comply with the January 6 committee's request. So May 31, you see a letter sent to then Representative Jordan asking that he honor his subpoena. He was asked over and over and over, you were a witness to a crime. You were a witness to the greatest crime ever committed with the most criminals ever indicted in America. Will you help your country? Will you comply with that subpoena? No compliance, crickets, absolute defiance of the subpoena. And because of that defiance, the chairman was referred, and it's still pending, to the House Ethics Committee. And why? Well, it's because he took an oath. And I want to have the congressional oath put up there, but the congressional oath mandates that members of Congress defend the Constitution without any mental reservation, or as it says on the slide, purpose of evasion. Not responding to a congressional subpoena is a direct purpose of evasion. So this is our chairman, hauling all us here, everyone here today, people at the Department of Justice, the Department of Education, who are doing important work to claim they are out of compliance when he himself is currently out of compliance. It's now 321 days since this subpoena was sent to Jim Jordan that he did not comply with. So it's comical that we are here today under Jim Jordan's leadership asking people why they don't want to comply with subpoenas. The guy won't comply with the one that was sent to him 321 days ago. Witness to a crime, the crime that has led to more arrests than any investigation in America. He's a witness being asked to do his patriotic duty and respond to a subpoena 321 days later. Refuses. Director, I think it's quite rich that the guy that has accused you of lawlessness and weaponization is 400 days into violation of his own congressional subpoena over January 6th. Quite rich to me that you're hearing all of these allegations from somebody who won't even respond to a lawful subpoena. Mr. Attorney General, my colleague just said that you should be held in contempt of Congress, and that is quite rich because the guy who's leaving the hearing room right now, Mr. Jordan, is about 500 days into evading his subpoena, about 500 days. So if we're going to talk about contempt of Congress, let's get real. I mean, are you serious that Jim Jordan, a witness to one of the greatest crimes ever committed in America, a crime where more prosecutions have occurred than any crime committed in America, refuses to help his country, and we're going to get lectured about subpoena compliance and contempt of Congress? Jim Jordan won't even honor a lawful subpoena? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's no credibility on that side. Mr. Attorney General, you are serious, they are not. You are decent, they are not. You are fair, they are not.
It should surprise absolutely no one that Jim Jordan is out here demanding that other people like Hunter Biden comply to subpoenas, but he doesn't have to.
Not really my thing.
At the end of the day, Jim Jordan is terrified of being humiliated and exposed as a liar by Hunter Biden in public on TV. Just like he's terrified of his involvement on January 6th being exposed if he ever complied with a